So in this video, I want to talk about Freyran, but not just Freyran, but also other animes as well in the similar topic range, and that is, does slow equal bad? Because it depends on how you interpret that statement. It's the same as when I talk about isekai trash. Like, I sit there and say peak trash, and some people take that as an insult towards a series, but when I talk about something like A Minutes in the Shadow and I say it's peak trash, I mean that in an endearing way of saying, like, it is just amazing to the point where it's like eating like some really good fast food where it's trashy for you, but you really love it and you want more of it. But the same situation for that you could say is, for example, with Freyran, you can sit there and say, well, this is a slow series. But when I see a lot of reviews online, I always see the comment of, well, this is slow, as if that is inherently a bad thing. And I could definitely understand that when someone brings up a series, they'd be like, hey, this is too slow. It spent too much time doing this and not enough time building up maybe the world or the characters, and maybe it just kind of padded things out. I could understand that statement, but whenever I see the statement of, say, like Freyran being too slow paced, I don't agree with that, because I think, yes, Freyran is slow, but not in a negative aspect. It is a slow builder. You get to see the world, you get to see the characters, you get to see the backstory, you get to see where they're going. And that's one of the things that I do really like about Freyran. And in the recent episode, it was just one of my favorites so far, because the new addition to the party, the boy with the axe himself, he has a bit of a backstory where he has a bit of a dilemma with his mentor, who is also a party member of Freyran's party, and he felt like he left on a bad note, but it was never actually a bad note. It was that the mentor basically reflexively punched him because of just how much potential and talent he had. It was just a reflex. Like, they're both warriors, so they've both trained to have strong reflexes to dangerous situations or possibility of being, hurt in a form of conflict. So they're trained to be very quick on their feet, but also quick with their body as a whole. And what I loved about it was the story building. Was it super fast and quick to the point where it needed to like speed run through the story? No, it was slow, but it was beautiful the way it went through over every little emotion and how they felt, and going over piece by piece of those characters and how it all intertwines together with the past and the present and going into the future. Now, of course, I can understand some people sitting there saying, hey, it is too slow. That's fine. Them saying it's too slow, they don't like that. They want to make it a little bit more faster paced. Everyone has a difference in opinion when it comes to animes. But for me, I feel like sometimes people inherently hear the word slow and think something negative. It's the same as when I said like peak trash. When I say peak trash, some people just inherently think that's a negative statement. It's me insulting the series, but not always. And that's why I think context is important. And I think that is something that kind of delves into my previous video where I talk about this whole thing of people not liking opinions. And again, you can sit there and say, oh, but you're disagreeing with this opinion of slow. And that's perfectly fine. I'm simply just giving my own opinion on other opinions that I've seen and looking at this sort of way of seeing the word slow. Because I don't think slow automatically means bad. I think you can sit there and say a series is slow in a bad and a good light. And I think Freyran is slow. And I agree with people that say it is slow. But at the same time, some people may not like that slow, world-building type series. Mushoku Tensei is also one of those as well, where I've seen the criticism where people do feel like it is too slow-paced, but at the same time, they like some arcs because it's much more faster-paced. And I think that also comes down to the issue of the adventuring component, because Mushoku Tensei goes through some adventuring arcs where Rudy, Eris, and Ruijin are going through this adventure, and then it goes down to Rudy kind of doing his solo act as an adventurer, and then it goes into the university arc where it is much more focused on him being there, growing, developing new characters, and it's not this high action adventure thing. People see that as inherently slow. And again, it's understandable. Some people may not like that kind of story and want something just purely adventure, high action. And there are plenty of other series out there that fill that niche. But at the same time, one of the things that I do like is when a series does go into what makes a character who they are. Like understanding how they got to the place they are. Whether it's good or bad and their flaws and weaknesses, I like seeing those little moments build on to explain. And some animes do it a bit more faster paced. Like you look at Demon Slayer, they have their own backstories, but those can be very quick and concise. Like they show the battle, and then as that villain's about to be defeated, there's those little backstories. I remember season 1 doing that, and that was really good the way they do that, because it is very fast paced, but you also don't get everything from the backstory. You generally get a good, like, quick summary. It's like a dot point kind of thing. So it achieves the goal that you want, is understanding why the villain is in that position, why they're the opponent, and then you get a little bit of sympathy, but at the end of the day they're defeated and that's the end of it. While other animes like Mushoku Tensei and Freiran, and there's a couple of others out there as well, and I'd love for people to recommend what they think fits in this category, those go a lot more slower, but build on the characters piece by piece, block by block. And it's not just characters as well, it is also the world that they're interacting with. It's one of the reasons why I really fell in love with Freiran, because it gives me that same vibe of grandeur in the world and in the characters, and it's why I just feel like it's such a perfect, beautiful anime, because the art style is quite unique in itself. The music in the opening song fits really well for what it's trying to portray, which is interesting because a lot of people did not like the opening song when it first got announced, and a lot of people ended up attacking the voice actor for that, which, again, if you don't like the song, that's perfectly fine, but don't attack the voice actor. That's taking things a little bit too far. But if you don't like the song, that's perfectly fine. I personally really like the song, but I think one of the reasons is because it's done by the same voice, the same singer as the one for Oshinoko, and I think a lot of people hyped Oshinoko up, and so people see that as her voice acting skills being overhyped. Basically, they don't like the amount of hype that people put in it. I've spoken about the word overhyped. But I personally really liked the song. I don't think it was, gassed up, as the kids like to say. I think it fit really nicely, and I think the voice actor has a very good talent at creating different and unique songs that fit quite well. But again, her talent is in a specific way of singing, so people expecting a song to be massively different from one anime to another, again, that's why you go to different bands or singers. I mean, you look at Shield Hero. Shield Hero's been getting the same bands to do some of their opening and closing songs, and it fits the theme. It's the same with Overlord. Every time a new season of Overlord always comes out, I've always looked forward to seeing the singers and the bands having their moment to play that song for Overlord, and just that rev and excitement for it. It's, again, each song fits differently in different ways, and I think they picked a really good song. The criticism that I did see, though, was people saying that, the song doesn't fit until later on, and I'm kind of like, well, of course, the actual opening song is going to be not just for 1 or 2 or 3 episodes, it's going to be for like a core, so you're going to get at least an opening song for 12 to 13 episodes, and then you'll get another opening song for the next core afterwards, most likely. Sometimes they don't, but sometimes they do. I think for this, it will be 2 different opening songs, one for the first and one for the second core. So I think it fits perfectly. I think you got to remember what the song's going to be played out throughout the entire core or season of the series. And I think it just fit really quite well, and it's kind of calm, it's slow, and it makes you feel like you're really just seeing the world and the time span flow by, and those little moments where she's looking out the window and watching the 2 companions walk past, you kind of feel that sense of the passage of time going on and understanding those emotions that are going through everyone. And the music it really adds to those emotions and enrichment to the actual art style as well. So I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you feel that the word slow is inherently just a negative word? Or do you see what I'm trying to portray there is that, yes, you can use slow in a negative sense of saying, well, this series is too slow, it should be much more faster paced, or it should get more stuff out. And then you can also use it as, hey, this is a slow series, it goes over things piece by piece by piece, block by block by block, and that is perfectly fine. It's the same for me using the word peak trash. I use it because I love the series. So again, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Of course, if you like this video, hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you beautiful nerds in the next video.